I am here with Jamie Innes. She is one of our speakers who I'm going to interview, and I'm going to ask her our questions that the coaches asked for, what they would ask a top coach if they had the chance. And lo and behold, we have Jamie Innes, who is a 7-star diamond. And she is actually number 6 in the company right now. So let me tell you, we have got some pretty high rollers on this Shred Nation team. And Jamie is at the top of the heap right now. So she's a new mom. She's busy. She's built her own business, and she's designed her life so that she and her husband can stay home with baby Maverick. And that is a blessing, but it takes a lot of work. And I'm sure that Jamie can attest to the fact that she has put in hundreds and thousands of hours to get to the place that she's at. So she's one person who I definitely had on my radar to get on this interview and get some, actually take some time to pick your brain a little bit.
Heck yeah, I'm all ready, girl.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for asking me.
My pleasure. Okay, so our first question from my coaches is, how do you or did you find time to work Beachbody around your work, baby, anything that you've got going on in your life that takes up a whole lot of time? How do you fit that in and get your work done more specifically than just, I just did it?
So for me, I had to figure out where I was struggling most. And for me, I'm super ADD. So me trying to work with a baby on my chest, with a dog barking, with Steve working out, it just doesn't work. It's not good work. It's not productive work. And I would much rather take a smaller amount of time that's productive, uninterrupted, rather than try and spread out a 5-hour work day and get 30 minutes of work done. So that's taking up the grandmas on the babysitting and having siblings that are also near to pay them to babysit. So that I can still be me, I can still work my business, because obviously this business is what got me to the point of being able to be a stay-at-home mom. And I still have to work my business. So for me, it's getting out of my house and it's getting to the coffee shop and getting the things I need to get done, the things that, you know, are like nails on a chalkboard, for instance, reaching out and follow-ups. I cannot respond to people on my phone and just, you know, get carpal tunnel typing every email response. And I can't do it on the fly. I need to be sitting down so that I can give them good answers and get those people signed up. But you have to identify where you're struggling. And if that's, you know, you feel like you don't have time, you have to make time. You have to carve that out, even if it's, you know, an hour a day. It has to be good work, because we can say that we're working all day long, but if we're not, you know, serious about it and having our blinders on and no distractions, like just have to figure it out. You have to do that, because otherwise you're not going to be able to work your business.
And everybody's life is different too. So, you know, one thing we were chatting about was what a blessing it is that you can stay home because you've built this business. But that doesn't mean that your whole day is playing with your baby on the floor and hanging out with him. You have a full-time job.
Yep.
But you have the capacity now where you've positioned yourself to be able to make the schedule yourself. But you have to have a schedule still.
You have to. Like if I'm on the fly and something comes up, whether it's an appointment, a meeting, something on my to-do list, I have to put it as an alarm on my phone, because otherwise I will forget. I can't use mom brain as an excuse. It is real. I totally get it now. But if I use that for an excuse for everything, I wouldn't be getting anywhere with my business. And you know, for part of that too, it's like if I save my workout, which is part of my business, to the end of the day, it's more likely to be put off, or, you know, I'm going to make an excuse, or like actually not have like any energy for it. So for me, I have to get it done in the first part of the day. I have to make that one of his naps, because that's a part of my business. That's a post. That's a check-in for my accountability groups. So kind of figuring out where you're struggling, and you have to like set it out. Steve and I have to communicate a lot, especially we're first-time parents. So there's a lot of stuff, most stuff we don't know. But we have to talk about, you know, sometimes, what do you want to do today? What are things that you have to get done today? Because we have to figure out who's going to watch the baby and take turns. And we also need time to, you know, get out of the house. And sometimes that's, you know, just me going to the coffee shop, or him going to get a car wash. Like, it's stupid stuff like that we need that to be able to reset ourselves, because we're full-time. We are full-time with coaching. We are full-time with parenting. So it's like we also need to figure out how we keep our sanity too.
Right. I mean, you could be locked in your four walls for days at a time working and taking care of Maverick, and you wouldn't even know it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. How did you get over the fear of what others think of what you were doing or what they thought of what you were doing? Did that happen first, or is it ongoing? Like,
yeah, I honestly did not care from day one. My dad had a massive heart attack. He made it through. He's a survivor, but that was my moment that, like, I saw him go through that, and I don't want anyone else to have to go through that. So every post that I make is trying to get the word out about healthy lifestyle, about eating cleaner, about moving just a little bit more. And so I don't care what people think. And, you know, if someone unfollows me, I really don't care. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. I used to have those apps that told me who follows me and unfollows me. I don't care anymore. And I'm not looking for that kind of stuff, because I'm trying to reach a certain person. I'm trying to reach my girl, and help her, you know, avoid a heart attack herself, or her parents, or her boyfriend, or her sister, whoever that may be. That I just don't care, because for me, every single social media post that I have is another way to reach another person, to reach another life. So for me, I just don't care. And I feel like if you do have that issue, I do have some coaches on my team that do struggle with that. You have to read personal development, and you have to do that every single day, because I feel like my coaches who do struggle with what other people think, they're not consistent enough with their PD, and they haven't read a PD book. Like Present Over Perfect is one of, like, it's what I'm reading right now. It's so good. You don't always have to read PD that's business minded or leadership oriented. For me, I need the PD books that are like Present Over Perfect. Just feel good, thinking more clear, that kind of stuff. So I feel like, you know, if you haven't found your PD book, talk to Nicole and see what kind of books she recommends to just feel good. You know, I think everyone thinks that PD has to be like a webinar or a YouTube video or, you know, John C. Maxwell, and that's not the case. Like, you just have to do PD because you need it in your life every single day.
Right. That's such a good point. I like to balance it a little bit. So, like, in my car, I'll listen to a business webinar or a business book. Like, I love listening to the 10X rule while I drive.
Yeah, so good.
So fired up.
Yeah.
At home at night when I'm trying to relax, like, I'm reading Uninvited. Lisa Turk, I can't pronounce her last name. Yeah. But she's the one that wrote The Best Yes. But I like to, that kind of calms my mind and kind of gives me a better perspective on the inside, right, as a mom or a woman or a wife or just a person in life.
I love that.
It's like, I like to balance it a little bit, you know?
That's awesome, yeah.
How long did it take for you to feel comfortable in your business groove?
So when I signed up, I was kind of just excited for a team, a community, and we're just kind of like playing around with this as like a hobby. But it was when I hit Diamond that I kind of realized, oh crap, there's people underneath me. I should probably start leading and like doing this a little bit more. And that's kind of when I got in my group. It was when I actually listened to the coaches that said, treat this business like the $1 million business that it can be. Because at first I thought, oh yeah, that's never going to be me. Like, there's no way. And then when I started having that mindset, because I saw, you know, Chelsea and Rav and other coaches that are my friends become really successful financially with this, and I was like, well, I can do that too. Like, it takes time and hard work. And once I started actually believing that, that's when I really started pushing forward in my business, because it was like I just needed to have that mind shift, that because I had 4 other jobs plus Beachbody. So for me, it was always like a hobby. Like, it was like my job that was fun. So once I got out of the hobby, or like, this is my fun job, and started treating it like an actual job that it is kind of when my mental switch changed, as far as like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of us get into that. If we have something else that we do that that sustains us or brings us money, we
Mhm.
kind of look at that as our real job.
Right.
But when you start looking at this as something real, and you can see even people that have come in at the same time I have are making six figures, you know,
Right.
or are 5 or 6 star diamonds already. You can definitely find your path. It's just doing it.
I'm sure. Yeah. Totally agree.
Your mindset is where it just kind of all changed for you.
Yeah. And you have to believe it, because we can say it and we can hear it, but you have to like believe it yourself
Mm-hmm.
to put in the actions that produce that, to put in the time, to put in the commitment, you know, saying no to certain things on the weekends, saying no to sleeping in till noon or whatever it may be on the weekends, you know, like just making this your business, you know?
Yeah. And our last question is, what is one piece of advice you wish you'd been given when you first started out that you had to learn the hard way?
Organization. I had no organization for the first couple months of my business at all, zero. And I think back on it now, and I don't even know how many people I had talked to, which I probably word vomited in the beginning. My original email was like, every Shakeology ingredient, join me. Nobody responded, of course. But I wish I would have been more organized and had those people that I talked to then, especially the Instagram people, because obviously you don't remember handles and stuff like that, because I had no system. And I think that's what I try to teach my coaches for starting out, is to find how you're going to get organized. Like, we have so many different tracking systems now. It's awesome. But like, you have to be organized in this business, because whether it's a part-time job or a full-time job, it's very easy to get lost. And it's very easy to see other coaches or other teams that are like, ooh, so-and-so's doing this. Ooh, shiny thing over here. Where you're like, ooh, I want the shiny thing. And it's like, maybe it doesn't align with your values, you know, or your reason for doing this. So like for me, I've always kept in my own lane and kept my blinders on. And along with that is like just being organized, because like I have to be. If I'm not organized, my business is just a cluster. Like it's not good. So that's what I teach my coaches starting out. The number one thing they have to figure out is how they're going to be organized, and to track every single conversation from day one.
And do you use Streak or Teamsy or something, one of the trackers out there right now?
So I do not like Streak. That is like not my brain. I did it in a group for Christine Dwyer because I had to, and I just like hated it. I am a notebook and Google Forms girl, but I am working towards Teamsy, because that is like so much more my style. I just have not had the time to get it set up, and I know I need to. Like that's my frog right now.
Teamsy is my brain, and I like it, but I haven't used it to its fullest potential.
Okay.
So I agree.
It's like everyone's raving about it right now, and it's just like so much better. Where like Streak for me, it was just not my thing. Like it stressed me out. I didn't like it.
I felt dizzy when I looked at it.
Yes, me too. It's just like
I wanted it to work so bad. I have like Streak regret. I don't know. I just feel like Streak envy when people say they love it so much. But
I know. That's how I am too. I'm like, it just doesn't work.
Teamsy was a little bit more black and white for me. A little bit.
Right.
I don't know.
That's what I've heard. But that's why it's important that we try out all these different things, because we all have different learning styles and different brains. Right. So just like figuring it out, and maybe it takes you 3 different systems to figure out which one works best for you.
Right.
But that's what I would say I wish I would have done in the beginning, because I missed out on a ton of opportunity, a ton of people that I could have helped, because I had no system, no idea what I was doing.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, I have one last question for you in particular that I didn't ask anybody else, because you are like the team building.
Oh my gosh.
Like, what is your, I can't ask you like what your process is, but how have you, or do you recruit so many coaches? Because you are like, to me, the ultimate team builder. Like, you're adding coaches.
Oh my gosh, I love you.
So
you're so nice.
I know there's no like secret sauce to anything, but you have something going on that you're doing that I just am like in love with.
Okay, so thank you. That was very sweet. So it's like, okay, what I tell everybody is for like, say you're a diamond coach, okay, you should be recruiting 3 to 5 new coaches a month. Not because that's just a number that I made up, but say you're doing the bare minimum of 3. One of them will probably, odds are, hit Emerald once in their business. Maybe they'll go further, but that's an Emerald coach. One's going to quit within the first 3 months. We all have those people. And one's going to be like active every other month. So if you're only recruiting 3 new coaches a month, you're not really going to build your team much if you only have one person who might ever hit Emerald. That's not even saying they're going to hit Emerald that first month. They could hit it a year from now. You know, like some of those coaches sign up and they're like, they sign up in April and they're like, my goal is Emerald by December. And it's like, no, your goal is Emerald this month. So for me, I stopped talking about Emerald as like this shiny thing. And I started saying that's when your business opens. Like, you sign up, you're an active coach, awesome. But if you want to work this business at all, Emerald is when your business is open. You finally have 2 people underneath you. Where before I was like, okay, like let's try and work towards Emerald, like mom and boyfriend or whatever. Now I'm just like, that's when your business is open. So if you're not an Emerald coach, your business it hasn't opened yet. You know, because those people that come in and they're like, I want to work the business, I want to do this, you know, they're like kind of icky to me because they haven't gotten results yet. Like, we have to be proud of the products. And if you're 1 week into the business and you're like, hey, join me for my next coach mentorship, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? You just signed up. Like, people want to see that you're like, how has this changed your life? Like, are you eating better yourself? Are you doing a program yourself? Are you inspired by your coach? Like, who are all these people? So for me, that's like what I just tell everybody. And really, I start working with my coaches when I see that they're showing up every single day. And, you know, the coaches that know that it takes at least a year, like what you're doing today pays you out a year from now. So like, when I have a coach that spends an hour a week on their business and they're complaining that they're not making any money, you know, those are kind of the people that I'm like, you're not putting in the time. Like, I put in so much time when I was working those other jobs that got me propelled, you know, my business forward. And as far as business builders, like, I just keep recruiting because some of them fly from the get-go and other ones, like, you think they're going out and they really just plateau. So instead of me focus on those people, like, okay, those are my 3 new diamonds this year, or that's who's going to be my next 3 diamonds. I'm just still recruiting. Like, I'm moving. Like, if you guys want to come with me, go with me. But like, I'm not stopping. I'm not going to pull your hands. I'm not going to pull you out of the mud because, you know, as much as I would love to make all my coaches diamond or star diamond, I can't. You know, we can't do that. We have to work our own businesses just like they should be working their own. So for me, it's kind of like my coaches that are just doing it, I always shout them out and give them, you know, recognition a lot in our team pages. And then my coaches who have kind of been like slowly going are like, oh, she signed up 5 months after me and she's diamond. And it's like, because she's putting in a lot of work, you know? And so I try to highlight the coaches that are just taking off because they're just going. Like, they don't put a cap on how many people they're reaching out to. Like, they're not stuck at the 5 people per day. They're doing 50. They're doing 50 the next day. Maybe the next day they have to work all day. They get home and they get their workout in. Maybe they don't reach out that night. But the next day they're doing 50 or they're even doing 100. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's not anything that I'm doing. I'm just really working with the willing. And I'm consistently recruiting because we all have the opportunity to do this, you know? And the more time you as a coach spend on trying to hold hands of coaches and try to pull them with me, like, come on, you can hit diamond, come on, you can do this. You know, that's only going to bring your business down. And I get pumped up when my coaches are on fire. That is what fuels me the most in this business, is when I see them killing it and them surpassing me in successful points. Like, it's incredible. It's the best feeling. So I just want like more of that. But I have to do my job too by recruiting to get new blood in, and then it might re-spark the older people and it might not. But that's just, you know, that's like been my biggest focus. And then that pumps me up more so than me taking it personally that my team's not growing, when it's like, I just haven't recruited the right people.
Right. And do you find, one last question, are you recruiting more challengers that you're working with, or are you finding people from outside your challenge groups?
I would say both. I've been trying to focus more on my challengers this year. I do still have the people that come to me that say they want to do this, but I would say to them, like, okay, well, you're going to be my challenger first as a challenger, and we're going to get your results right away, because like I'm not going to have those people anymore. Those are the coaches that I've had in the past that have just quit a couple months into it because they're not succeeding, they're not making money, and it's like, you never did a program.
Right.
Like you have to do at least one full round of the fix. We've all done it. Like, yeah, maybe there's been rounds that maybe you didn't do the last week, or you didn't do the double workouts, or maybe your eating was 80% and not 100. But you have to do a full round 100%. Even if you if you think I only lost 3 pounds, you look completely different. Like, show those pictures. Who cares about what the number says? But like, you have to show that you're proud of the product, and then people are going to see that, and they're going to be like, I want you to coach me through that because you know what you're doing.
Awesome. Such a great point. I mean, it just makes you more legitimate.
Right. Exactly. And not salesy and not icky.
Right.
Like
if you were working for Beauty Counter, would you be using like CoverGirl?
Right.
No,
yeah.
Not,
exactly.
So
true.
The same concept.
Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Like gold on a screen right here.
Gosh.
I appreciate you, and I know all my coaches are going to appreciate this and enjoy seeing your beautiful face and hearing all the wisdom that you've given us.
Have so much fun. I'm excited for you guys.
Thanks. So everyone, Jamie Innes, thank you very much.
Love you, girl.
Love you.